Hey everyone, if you're setting up a small woodworking shop and you're tired of the usual dust collector that's either too loud, too big, or just can't keep up with your tools, this Oneida Air Systems Supercell Turbo might be exactly what you need. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Look, the biggest headache with dust collectors isn't usually the specs, it's whether the thing will actually work in your space without turning your shop into a wind tunnel or a storage nightmare. Most 14-gallon units out there are clunky, take up way too much floor space, and still leave fine dust floating around. That's where the Supercell Turbo stands out. It's designed to mount on the wall, so it's out of the way, and it's built to handle the kind of suction you'd expect from a much larger, noisier machine. The 10x higher suction pressure compared to standard dust collectors means it can pull dust from tools up to 100 feet away without losing much power. If you've ever struggled with a dust collector that can't keep up with your table saw or sander because the hose is too long or the suction is weak, this is a game changer. Now, let's talk about who this is really for. If you're running a small shop, think a garage, basement, or even a dedicated corner in a larger space, and you're using tools like a table saw, planer, sander, or even a small CNC, this dust collector is going to make your life easier. The universal design means it can hook up to any hose size from 1 inch to 5, so you're not stuck replacing all your existing hoses just to make it work. The 14-gallon drop-down dust bin is another big plus. It's got an automatic bag holder and a fill level indicator, so you don't have to guess when it's time to empty it. That might sound small, but anyone who's ever dealt with a dustbin that's overflowing or hard to access knows how much of a pain it is. But here's the thing, if you're running a full-blown professional shop with heavy-duty tools or multiple machines running at once, this might not be the right fit. The Supercell Turbo is powerful, but it's still designed for smaller setups. If you're pushing it to handle a large jointer, a wide belt sander, or a gang of tools all at once, you might find yourself wanting more. Also, while the wall-mounted design saves space, it does mean you'll need a solid wall to mount it on. If your shop is more of a mobile setup or you're renting and can't modify the space, this could be a deal-breaker. One of the practical strengths of this dust collector is the HEPA-GFM filter with an internal pulse filter cleaner. Fine dust is the real enemy in a woodworking shop, and HEPA filtration is a must if you're dealing with allergies or just want to keep your lungs happy. The pulse cleaner is a nice touch because it means you don't have to manually clean the filter as often, which saves time and keeps the suction strong. The included 4 inches by 25 feet vacuum-rated SD urethane flex hose is also a solid addition. It's durable, flexible, and rated for vacuum use, so it won't collapse under high suction like some cheaper hoses might. On the flip side, there are a few things to keep in mind. The Supercell Turbo is loud, like really loud. If you're sensitive to noise or your shop is in a shared space, you might need to wear hearing protection or plan for some sound dampening. The 20% more airflow is great, but it does come with a trade-off in noise levels. Also, while the wall-mounted design is a space saver, it does mean installation is a bit more involved. You'll need to mount it securely, and if you're not comfortable with basic electrical work or mounting heavy equipment, you might need to hire someone to help. That's not a deal breaker, but it's something to factor into your decision. Another thing to consider is the price. This isn't a cheap dust collector, but it's not the most expensive either. The value comes from the combination of power, filtration, and convenience. If you're tired of dealing with a dust collector that's either underpowered or a hassle to use, the Supercell Turbo is worth the investment. It's the kind of tool that pays for itself over time by keeping your shop cleaner, your tools running smoother, and your lungs healthier. So, who should skip this? If you're a hobbyist with just a few small tools or you're working in a space where noise is a major concern, there are quieter, less powerful options out there. But if you're serious about woodworking and you want a dust collector that can keep up with your tools without taking over your shop, this is a solid choice. It's built to last, easy to use once it's set up, and